Hey guys, welcome back to Amnesia The Dark Descents. We now have all 6 pieces of the orb, but we just have to take care of one more little thing in the transets before we leave. So let's ascend the stairway to heaven. This is a really awkward staircase to climb. We're going up. Up, up, we're going up. Up, up, we're going up. And here we have a little private study area, which I believe was Alexander's. String, we need this, because we combine it with that. And now we can go and get the blood which we need for the tonic. Notes on torture. There are quite a few things to be said about torture. I had figured that the reaction I would get from the victims would be highly individual. Thankfully, this is not the case. The humans all have a very similar approach to dealing with physical pain and the terror of anticipation. I can't stress enough the importance of restraining the victims before proceeding. Even the most timid creature can break out in fits of violence where their strength exceeds their expected prowess. If proper care has been put into breaking the victim, this should not be a problem, but it will also hinder the effect I am after. The right steps to take are, therefore, to restrain while the victim is still dazed, proceed by presenting the form of torture you are about to apply, and then to continue with the actual act. The point of presentation is to infuse terror. The human mind is extremely efficient, as it will trigger itself into greater fear simply by imagining it. While applying pain, make sure to avoid massive damage, as it will prove more efficient if the process can be sustained. Also, apply the pain in doses, if possible with breaks to let the body settle. If you are whipping or cutting the victim, strike once, wait for the pain to subdue, then strike again. As long as the body suffers, it will continue to produce the vitae and saturate the blood with its properties. Only with careful performance will the victim yield maximum effect. If the victim doesn't behave as expected, it is likely that all will be for naught. Before this happens, feed them the amnesia drink and try again later. So basically, these victims are being tortured for their vitae, and if it doesn't work, they have their memories wiped too before it happened, as we saw with that one prisoner. Is it you, my love, I miss the most, or is it perhaps myself? I know what I have become. I am not blind. I am a monster to them, a demonic sultan perched on a dark mountaintop. There is little I can do to redeem myself. The Black Eagle fears me, and after Napoleon's defeat, it is only a matter of time before they will demand my head on a platter. I must remove myself from this land. This time it must work. If I can't return home now, I shall perish. So all of these memory tube things are obviously Alexander. I can assume they're kind of like a diary to himself. There he is again. So Alexander basically wants to return to his own world because he is not of this earth. Where he comes from, we don't really know. I don't think Rebirth touches upon it. What's this one? But he's basically an alien. So let's go get some blood. Oh, mouse. Wanna come get some blood with me? Okay, so now we just get our jar and a string. Top of our oil. And now we have everything we need in order to make the tonic, but we cannot make it just yet, because the laboratory is obviously sealed up, so we need to open it somehow. So now we just head back to Agrippa and hear what he has to say. Oh. That's such an iconic noise. Sorry for the pitch and voice there. Back to the nave! Yep, that's Daniel. Okay, Agrippa, I have your pieces of the orb. Oh, hello, Shadow. just fine.
I see you have all the orb pieces you need. I know I have no right to ask anything of you. But if you could find it in your heart to gather the ingredients for Vire's tonic before attempting to mend the orb, there might still be a chance for you to save me. Please, my fate is in your hands.
You can see that Agrippa doesn't actually have a proper mouth, so is he communicating with us telepathically? Yes.
I know I have no right to ask anything of you, but if you could find it in your heart to...
Don't worry, we have the ingredients, but we can't actually do anything with them just yet. Okay, so, in order to get into the laboratory, we have to go get captured. So this is the first real time you'll see grunts up close. And this is scripted because you would think after being attacked they would kill you. Oh. Earthquake! Okay, grunts. There they are. Hello! And that's the first real time you'll see them that close. Sleep. Okay. And yes, it says look at them. Yeah, well, we have no choice there. We have to get captured by them. Ugh, be gentle with me, you idiots. Scheherazade. I believe this Hazel girl knew Daniel, but I'm not sure what their relation is. Hello. No one's gonna like you. You're too ugly. And too naked. So, this is where we can get the secret ending for Amnesia. So that has hurt us badly because we got swiped by a razor-sharp claw, so we'll just use our abundance of laudanum to fix that. And now Alexander communicates with us.
I'm not sure what to do with you.
But we're just gonna proceed with our jailbreak here.
Against you, Daniel. We are so very much the same, you and I.
Really?
Did you really drink from the amnesia mixture?
Yes.
It does explain so much of your behavior. You never did finish what you set out to do. You talked about redemption, how you would face the orb's shadow and save our work, and me.
I did.
I will grant you another chance to redeem yourself. You can wait here and stop the shadow. Thank you, friend.
So, we are currently locked in a jail cell. Yeah, let me out. And, as Alexander just said, we can wait here and stop the shadow, quote-unquote. So in order to get the secret ending, all you have to do is just wait in the cell for, I believe it's 10 minutes. And as the time progresses, the shadow will slowly get closer. And it will eventually catch up and kill you. But we're not going to do that. We're going to break out of here. Oh, wrong section. Just shut that in. And just pull. And this is... yeah, hold that. No idea what that pillar is doing leaning against a brick wall or how it breaks through, but whatever. Oh. And that's the shadow slowly approaching. So now we have to get out of here, but that door is locked, so we need a key. So we just have to explore the jail cells. Ooh, a note. Last prisoner note. There is little left to say. I write solely to prevent myself from revisiting the memories of these last few days. If I am fortunate, I will fall asleep and time will pass without effort. I have begun to wean myself of my prison. When I first arrived, I felt like I was being buried inside a tomb, but now I feel the closed walls comforting me. As long as I am in here, there is no pain. The walls protect me from the outside. I even laughed earlier as one of my wardens dropped a key down the pipes. It gave me hope for a second, thinking I could escape if only I could somehow reach it from here. In my dreams, Alexander, I am king. In my dreams, I best you and escape your clutches, and return with all the knights of the realm carrying pistols and sabers. In my dreams. So there's a little hint of what we have to do. A key was dropped down a pipe. And you can see by the door there, there's a pipe. So, that should mean that there's a key in there, which there is. At first, just gonna pick up this oil. But we need to get it out of there somehow. And I think there's like a tinderbox or something in here. But also, if we go in here... That was the brute. And now this dead body has magically appeared. I think I do actually kind of agree with Josh Strife Hayes in that this game would have been a lot better without the dead bodies. Now what broke this door like that? So I can only assume it was a brute. And in here, or laudanum, or however Markiplier pronounced it, and a bucket, and a tinderbox. So what do we do with this bucket? We go over to this well here. Pull the rope up, just make sure I get the right direction. Nope, other way. Put the bucket on the rope. Put it down into the water, because we need it. Splash. Then bring it back up. Drink the water, Daniel. Keep yourself hydrated. Glug, glug, glug. What oil's love again? Top that up. Anything here? Some booze. And in there, you can see there's a key. But we have to get it out. So, we just have to flush it out with some water. So now, we can escape. However, as soon as we step out of here, we're gonna trigger probably the last big chase sequence. So, let's go do that. Open the door. And that is undoubtedly the shadow. I've got these here. Don't look back. Don't look back. I'm not gonna look back. Just look forward. And then this happens. I think that triggers on both sides. It'll cave in on either side, and so it doesn't really matter which way you go at first. And we have water. I'm not sure if this slows you down against the shadow. I'm not gonna look back now, it costs us time. You can hear it's right behind us. And it wants to kill us. So we're just gonna run to the door. Quick look back. Yeah. There it is right there. Let's get out of here. So Dr. Tate. So this Hazel girl was treated by the same physician that Daniel had. So again, I have to wonder what their relation was. She had embraced him and wished him a grand adventure in Algeria. So yes, the two of them knew each other. And here we have another well. There's nothing there. There's a carrick down there. Oops. And now to pass out again. Oh, sleepy time. And this clearly pertains to this last memory sequence.
18th of August, 1839. Tonight, we will unlock the power of the orb and ultimately banish the shadow hunting me. I feel it closing in on me, and I fear for my life more than ever. Just outside Olstad lies a small settlement where Zimmerman, a dairy farmer, lives with his wife and 3 children.
We can control... Well, we have control of basically the carriage for this last memory.
We took the coach and went there. Our visit was unexpected, and Alexander was able to strike Zimmerman down without alerting others. As he went to take care of the farmhands, I began to look for the children.
Yeah, you know what's gonna happen when you find them, Daniel?
We should have more than enough prisoners to finish the ritual now.
You can see Daniel has become truly twisted. So you have to wonder, is there any hope for him? Now we wake up. Wakey wakey! More rose petals. Just double check for tinder boxes. Okay, we're good. So now we're back in the nave, so we just have to make our way back to Agrippa. Sanity is yellow, okay. The shadow is spreading its jam over the place again. And we can see that that door has been completely caved in. I think I actually did miss a tinderbox earlier on, but nothing I can do about it now. 35, okay. So we can't go that way. So, by process of elimination, up over the rocks, we go this way. Hop over the jam. Ow. And here we are. And as you can see, the torches have all been removed, so lighting them earlier would have been completely pointless. Even though we have a lot of tinderboxes, it's best not to waste them in this area. The jam is everywhere. Other way, Beryl. But now, the laboratory's open, so now we can make the tonic. Other way, chair. In the box. Oh. So, in order to make the tonic, out of the way. So first, we have to put the jar of blood. Jar of blood. Thank you. Light this. And we have to distill it? I think this is what it does. It purifies it or something? I don't know. I don't make tonics. Fill it up, don't waste the fuel. So that's step one. So now we put that there. And in here, we put the mucus-covered bone. And this does something. I don't know what it does in there. And that, is that like a mini incinerator or something? And finally, step 3. Put this under there, and we put the poison gland in here, and we crush it violently. And now we have the tonic. So now we can head back to Agrippa. And our sanity drops again. Hello, Agrippa.
Dad, I thought I lost you. The castle trembled and I could hear the chancel collapse. The laboratory might be accessible now.
You can see the shadow has been busy while we were away. Yes.
You did it. Thank goodness. Now, pay attention. First, feed me the tonic, and then use the saw to remove my head.
What saw?
As the tonic begins to work, you'll be able to cut off my head without taking my life. Then, take my head and bring it with you. As you enter the gate Alexander is opening in the inner sanctum. What do you mean? Why wouldn't you enter the gate? We can't argue now. You need to act.
Well, we need a saw in order to cut his head off, but we don't have one. However, if we go through this little cave area... Oh. I never knew that laudanum was there. And here's another It Won't Budge door. And here's the bone saw, which just looks like a normal hacksaw. Back through the tunnel.
Why me? I'm the next best thing. Alexander really wanted none other than Johann Reyer. You never heard of Johann Reyer? My God, boy. He's probably the greatest man in history. And you don't know him? Or is it the world has forgotten him?
Probably. Alright, so now we feed the tonic to Agrippa. Do we like stretch our arms out like Piccolo?
And then, whatever happens, get me through that gate.
You have to wonder how Daniel gets it to him. Like, does he stretch out his arms like Piccolo? And off with his head! And now we have Agrippa's head. We're basically like Kratos in God of War 2018 with Mimir's head. Oh, out of oil. Yep. Alright. Gonna have to travel in darkness for a while. Yellow, good. Health, good. Okay, so now we go to the chancel for the third time. Yep, this is again talking about Daniel. All his life he thought he was a good man. No. Anyone can become terrible. Like, if you've watched the Awaken the Dragons arc in Yu-Gi-Oh!, Raphael talks about how everyone has light and darkness in them, so they can do good things or they can do bad things. And now we have a patrolling brute, so we're just gonna hide here, wait for him to disappear. So this is the last time the grunts and the brutes appear. Oh, I'm not sure if... Oh, no, just look at the floor. Not gonna risk it. Oh, it's in the box. Forget it. I'll pick it up later. Fortunately, the jam and the like keeps us relatively hidden. Sanity is okay. So I'm not sure if he comes down and breaks the door down, or if that was the grunt the first time you come over here. Hear him squeaking over there. So he does despawn, it just takes a little while. Oh, I think it's coming this way. Yes, that's him. Okay, I don't think he can see us. I think he's gonna break down the door. Oh no, he's just gonna go back. They do shamble very slowly. Although they can move surprisingly quickly when they do spot you. We're basically at the end game now, so I'm gonna try and get everything done in this final episode. Oh, and he's gone. Nope, completely out of oil. Although we don't really need the lantern anymore, so that's not that big a deal. So this area is completely changed now. So we can go... Ow! I'm talking to you! So we can go... Ow! So we can go that way to the room with the gears. And this would lead to that private area, but the... which I think is Alexander's area. But the bridge is broken, and you could jokingly guess that the brute just shambled over here and whoops, off the edge. Oh boy, don't want to do it myself. So you could say his despawn was just him yeeting himself over here. Hup, hup. Look at all this jam everywhere. So we just have to go in here. So here's the second to last note.
10th of August, 1839. I cannot believe what I have become.
Daniel finally realizes what he's done.
And I chased after her all the way upstairs. I hunted her down, and what is her life worth? How many lives can I take before I surrender my own? Sure, I would kill a murderer to save an innocent, but to kill an innocent to save myself? A cold-blooded murderer.
He finally accepts what he's done. Sorry. Yes, get some light in here. So now this gate is open. It's been knocked down, probably by the shadow. So now we have to break these gears in order to get into the inner sanctum. I see a hammer here, but nope, not gonna work. So we need something big and heavy. So we're just gonna come up here, pick up one of these rocks, which will be more than sufficient. Woo, woo, roundy, round, 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 woo, roundy, round, round. Ow. And just throw it at the gears. And that hurts us. Oh. Okay, typically that does damage you. So that stops them, but it doesn't actually break them. You think throwing a huge rock into these would cause them to at least crack. So that has now stopped those. So now we just head to the second to last main area. I didn't hear what you said, Daniel. Ow. Oh, wrong way. Hup, hup. Ow. Now there is a small gap here in this bridge. I'm not sure if it's possible to fall through, but just hop over it. Oh yeah, that's it. So here's one of these blue fire things, which we can light. It does nothing, but give a little bit of light. And here we have this electric force field, which is completely normal technology for this time period. And here we have a pedestal. So this is where the orb goes. So we just smother it with tar. And now we just put the pieces in, one at a time. And the orb slowly takes shape. And there. So we just step back and... shiny! So this will draw the power of the force field away into the orb. And boom! The orb vanishes into thin air. Where'd it go? My orb! So now we can go through to the inner sanctum. And The shadow is pretty close. And now we have to run through here because this is the last chase sequence. And pull the lever! Pull the lever, Kronk! And that will block the shadow from getting to us. I don't know how a wooden door stops a supernatural shadow, but whatever. And now we're safe. So through there is the orb chamber, but we have to do one thing first. And here's the final note.
19th of August, 1839. It's not fair. I'm not to blame. I've been manipulated by that demon. He played my guilty conscience and duped me into facing the shadow alone. That vile, conspiring man. He expects me to meet my death as he steals power beyond imagination. Alexander, I will kill you for what you have done. If only the shadow had caught me in London or Algeria, I wouldn't have to suffer this humiliation. You made me a murderer. A monster.
So if any of you have played Shadow of the Colossus, then in the final cutscene where Wander has been pretty much fully possessed by Dorman, Lord Emon says to him, "You were only being used." That's basically what happened here.
As the men I've tortured.
Daniel was just being used by Alexander, and he didn't even realize it until now. So now we have here, what's this about? Well, in order to get into the orb chamber, we need a little donation of blood. Stab. That hurts us and drains our sanity a bit. So now we just have to go into this pentagram looking thing. Sanity is not very low. So now we go to the other side to do the same thing. And this is typically the only time in the game where your sanity gets to its absolute lowest. And when it gets this low on hard mode is when I believe you die. So I'm not sure if there's any way to prevent that. Ow. Good thing we have lots of loot in them. Also we have the hammer and chipper still, for who knows what reason. I don't know why they don't disappear. Alright. And now... and there it is. So we collapse to the floor, our ears start ringing. So this is what happens when your sanity is at its absolute lowest. I believe when this happens on hard mode, you die. But I haven't tried it, so I don't know for sure. And also, the shadow has now broken in, so the area is covered with jam. Ow. So now there's only one way to go. Hop over the jam. Alright, let's go meet Alexander. The orb chamber. Perhaps you could see that Daniel was finally realizing what he'd done. And here we are. Hey, Alexander.
I was wondering if you were going to show up. I see Agrippa convinced you to run some errands. Tell me, is everything nice and clear now? Am I the villain?
Yes, you are.
Good and evil. Such comforting concepts.
Also, why are you naked?
But hardly applicable. Are you so blind that you see no good in me or evil in Agrippa?
So, to get one of the three endings, the main endings, to get the band ending, we just have to let Alexander escape. So, we're gonna go for that ending first. So, we're just gonna stand here and watch. I'm just gonna watch Alexander's naked body floating like he's a magician. And we see those stones orbiting like planets. I don't know how they're doing that. So I believe this is meant to emulate the Traveler's Locket from Rebirth. Because if you remember the notes from the Cistern control room, it talks about how Alexander had to build the thing 100 times bigger. I believe this is what it's referring to. Oh, that's actually blue fire. The other was only aquamarine. Or maybe teal was the name. Right, let's just stare in this thing. Look at the nice shiny purple lights. And also see the stones orbiting faster and faster. That is very chilling music. Round and round and round and round. Man, if you were spinning around like that, you would get so dizzy. Okay, Alexander. Oh, there's the portal.
A whole other world. Oh, isn't it beautiful?
A whole other world.
Return home.
Yes, we're going to let you return home, Daniel.
But you, I am sorry, Daniel. You won't be able to enter. You are still tainted, branded by the shadow. It will consume you either way.
And now we get to the bad ending. Where we do nothing. And he's gone. So now we just...
Please, let me go.
So now the shadow catches up with us. And kills us. Ow. He hears the cries of the victims. Ow. And we're dead. Oh, now we're dead. So that's what happens if you do nothing and let Alexander escape.
Thank you, my friend. Your sacrifice won't be forgotten. You will be celebrated forever.
Sure, we will. So, that is the bad ending of Amnesia, where you let Alexander escape. That's a bit of a sad story for Daniel. He was basically tricked by Alexander because Alexander just wanted the orb. And he just duped Daniel into killing innocent people, saying it's what helped you escape the shadow. But no. So let's just skip these credits. And here we see TYR299. So when you get the 3 main endings, you get this code, and if you enter all 3 of them, I believe it's from worst to best in the extra folder that needs to be unzipped in the games folder, you can see bonus content. So that should have saved our game. So let's just go back in. Yep. Okay, so that was the bad ending. Hey, Alexander.
I was wondering if you were going to show up.
So now we're going to get the normal ending. So in order to do that, we have to push these pillars over. Because it says it's unstable.
Why would I take such extreme measures to save your life? Maybe I'm saving mine too.
Screw you, Alexander.
You are ruining it.
No, this is
So close, I beg you.
this is my redemption, Alexander, for everything you made me do. Go burn in hell.
You killed us. You killed us both.
See you in hell, Alexander. So the shadow just takes him.
It was my greatest triumph, and I never...
You can move during this last part. So Daniel has basically redeemed himself by giving Alexander to the shadow, and he was spared.
You think I was afraid, fleeing Brennenburg? Huh. Quite the contrary.
And you can see there's no more shadow in the castle, no more darkness, no more scary things. Everything's basically normal. Daniel's free.
I knew it was my purgatory. Hellfire made to wash away my sins.
I'm blocked. Let me out.
There's no denying the things I've done, but I have paid my tribute. I gave
The door's
them
open.
an awful man. I did the right thing.
Yes, he did. So, by stopping Alexander, Daniel is spared. He's able to go back to his life. He still remembers everything he did, and he knows he can probably never truly redeem himself for it. But killing Alexander was definitely what he needed to do. So, that's good for him. So there's the second code. So now, we'll just go and get to the so-called good ending. So, back in we go, one last time. So in order to get to this ending, we have to wait for the portal to open and put Agrippa's head in it. So we'll just get his head ready.
I see Agrippa convinced you to run some errands. Tell me.
So now we just have to wait.
Nice and clear now. Am I the villain? Good and evil. Such comforting concepts, but hardly applicable. Are you so blind?
Yes,
that you
Alexander,
see no
we've heard this
good in
before.
me or evil in Agrippa?
There is no good in you, Alexander. There never was. You would be a great candidate for the Seal of Orichalcos. So I think that is meant to be an incentive for you to check the pillars, and might get you to be like, oh, maybe I should push these over? So we're just going to wait for the portal to open again. Just listen to that nice music again, watching the stones swirl overhead like planets orbiting the sun. You okay, Agrippa? I know you can't talk to us, but... You think he knows any good stories like Mimir does? Not the best ASMR music ever, but... Anytime now, Portal. Portal, the device has been modified! I don't know what the swirling stones have to do with opening a portal to another world. I imagine they serve some purpose.
Do you see it? A whole other world.
So I believe you have to wait for... I believe you have to wait for it to fully open, because it's only partially open here, so putting Agrippa's head through here won't do anything. So we just have to wait a little bit longer. In you go!
You fool! You have ruined us!
So what happens with this is that the shadow kills both Daniel and Alexander. Yep, there's Daniel screaming at me. So the shadow kills both of them. So you think, wait, is that it? Nope. And also you can move in this.
There he is.
And there's Agrippa.
Do you see him, Vaya? He deserves so much more. Please, help him. I know you can.
So I'm not entirely sure what all of this is. But this is clearly Agrippa trying to communicate
Don't
with
worry,
Wire.
Daniel. It will be all right.
Unless it's frozen. So Agrippa is basically asking Wire to help Daniel. So to like bring him back to life or something? I don't know. And there we go. That's all 3 main endings of Amnesia, and that's basically the full game. So that is a very good classic scary game. It's held up extremely well, minus the dead bodies, which I agree could really have been removed or just not put in the first place. But yeah, I think this will definitely go down as one of the classics of games. It's probably the best of the Amnesia games, although I've only played a little bit of A Machine for Pigs, and I haven't touched Rebirth, so I don't know how it compares. Thomas Grip. Thomas! So yeah, these people did a great job with this. So this was obviously the game that's succeeded Penumbra, which I have not tried. And I think this might have been their attempt to improve upon Penumbra, because I don't know what the reception of that game was or how good it was. I think it has its what's the word? It has its issues. So I would guess that Amnesia was their attempt to redo it and try to fix those issues. I could be wrong. I haven't played it. But yeah, that's Amnesia: The Dark Descent. Damn good game. And again, I have been thinking of redoing those fanfiction reading videos, or I guess that fanfiction reading video, using this game where I'm dreaming the whole thing's happening and I'm trying to help Arthur. There's all the voices of the main characters and thugs. So, would you guys be interested in that fanfiction reading video? Just let me know, and maybe I'll get onto it and try to make something of it, although it will be a multi-episode video. Wolfire Games. Julio Jerris, Newton Game Dynamics, Andreas Johnson, Tiny XML, and there's the final code. So if you put all 3 of those into the zipped folder in the game directory, you can see bonus content for Amnesia. And that's the end of Amnesia: The Dark Descent. I hope you guys liked that. I hope I did a good job with this, and I'll see you guys in the next playthrough.